Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Here I am at my home crafting on behalf of the Paris Bourbon County Library. Today we're going to be making something very similar to this. Now when I made this one, this is actually made out of paint stick, and this is going to be our Shamrock art. We're going to make ours out of shims, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, but when I actually constructed the prototype for this, all I had was paint sticks. So just know that this activity can also be or this artwork can also be made using paint sticks. So we're going to show you the first the materials that you're going to need, and then secondly I'm going to show you how to put one together that's made entirely of shims. I'll put this one back here. So let's look at our list of supplies. You're going to be needing shims. Now there is a kit available for this, and it will contain the shims. You're also going to need something to put this together on the back. Now I like to just use popsicle sticks and a glue gun. So you are going to need your glue gun as well. We're going to need some paint brushes. I like the larger paint brushes for the green, but we're going to be doing some detail work, so I have some smaller paint brushes for that. I'm going to need green and white paint. And I've got a variety here. We'll discuss that in a few minutes. I'm going to need a pair of scissors. I'm going to need something to make my template from. Now you will receive a template in your kit as well. So just know that there's one in there. I did not have one this morning, so I had to hand draw this one. I'm not sure it's perfect, but it's going to be perfect for our art project. And then we're also going to need a pencil to trace. And that's all the materials that we're simply going to need for our Shamrock artwork. So let's go ahead and get started, and let me give you the directions. The first thing that I did is, if you'll notice on this one, I took a dark green and then I just kept lightening it with white until I got what I was looking for. I actually did 2 of each, and that way when it ended in the center, it was the lightest of the colors. And I've done the same thing with this, only I did this with a different kind of paint, excuse me. For this one, I used the chalk paint, and I just added some white. On this one, I'm using just a little container of an acrylic paint that's green, and again, white. And the first thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to put these together on the back. And I think the best way to do that is to take my sticks, and I'm going to put them at 3 different levels here. We'll move everything out to the side. And I'm going to put glue down the center of each. Now shims have a flat side and then kind of a not flat side. I'll explain that in just a minute. Let me get these on there. I want to make sure this is flat. On the back. So I'm lining these up. And I'm placing them in opposite directions. So you'll notice one side's thick, one side's narrow. And it looks like I'm going to need one more stick because these are holding together. But I've got one more that goes on the top, so I'll probably put that right here. And I just happen to have one more. So I'm going to put that face down here. And I'm going to turn that over. Now I have a little extra at the top, and I'll pop that off. I can actually just take my scissors and cut that off. We'll do that in a minute. I want to make sure that this is on there really good. Now ideally I need one more there, which I did not bring down here with me. So I'll need to know that I need to clip this and probably put one more here. Because the only thing that's really kind of holding that is this, that top piece, is this and a little bit of that. So right now we know we need to correct that, but I don't want to stop our video right now to do that. So I will do that after this piece is put together. And you can see that it is a variation of what we just did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my template, which is a shamrock, and place it right in the center. And I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to trace. Now this would have been easier if it were not green on green, but obviously this is the first piece of construction paper I found. So I'm just tracing. And you can use a marker if you want to. I just don't want that marker image showing. And since I'm going to be painting this white, I want to make sure that there's no other ink marks or pencil marks. Now on the paint sticks, this is a little easier to transfer because you don't have a bumpy surface. This one is an uneven surface, but I kind of like that. I really think it adds to it. And there's my basic shamrock shape. I think you can see that. I do need to finish up here. There we go. Now all I'm simply going to do is take my white paint. Now I don't know if I have messed this paint up or not because I was actually using it. I think I did. So let's get some new paint. And a paper plate. Just a little bit of the paint. I'm going to start with my big brush. And fill in the large areas. And then I'm going to use my little brush to get the small areas. Now on the one that I showed you at the beginning, see I made a boo-boo, we don't worry about that. I used 2 coats. Actually, I believe I used 3 coats on that. Now you can see where you are going to need the small brush to help you fill in. I love St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to show you another little something that I made just in a few minutes that was so simple. And yet, if you're looking to add just a little bit of artwork for this season of St. Patrick's Day, then the artwork I'm getting ready to show you in a few minutes is going to be perfect for that. Thank you for your patience. I didn't want to go ahead and paint this. I was afraid it wouldn't line up correctly. I need to move this around. Paint here. And you can go lighter. This one's very light in the center. You definitely can go lighter if you choose to. You can determine how much white paint you add to your green. to give it that effect that you're looking for. I hope I'm not making you dizzy by moving this, but I'm trying to get right in those creases and also around the edges of the shamrock without messing up too much. Now we have this little boo-boo up here. I'm just going to round that out. There we go. Now for the stem, I think I'm going to even use a smaller brush, and I have one here. That is a narrow little opening there, and I just don't want to widen that too much, so I'm using a thin brush. Now, you could use a transfer, like a Dollar Tree. They make the foam shamrocks. You could easily just glue one of those in the center of this if you want to. But it kind of takes away the art part of the project. So I kind of like drawing them and adding color. Got a little place up here. I need to round out a little bit. And now there's our shamrock. And again, we're going to put several coats on this. I'm going to go ahead and start with my wider brush again and fill in. This is one you can get the kids involved in, if that's your preference. Typically we make our crafts for adults, but if you like to get the kids involved, that would be wonderful. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish up our video, but just know that I still need, on the back, I still need one more popsicle stick right up through here, and I need to pop that off probably, and that is going to give me the full effect. You can still see that one edge there is not completely stuck. It's not completely glued. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then I'm going to pop back on and show you the finished product. Be right back. Okay everybody, I'm back. I did find this little support frame that I could use on this, but otherwise here is our finished product. Now you might want to put another extra coat on there. I've got 2 on this one. A couple of things about the shims. I did not sand my shim. I just left it as is. One side is actually very smooth. The other one side's a little rough. I don't have a problem with that. I actually kind of like that look anyway. Other things. You can attach on the back of here a little piece of twine, and that's a great place to hang these. Or they can just be leaned up against the surface wherever you're getting ready to put your shamrock. But these are the 2, let me put that back up there, that I have made. Scoot that one over just a little bit, and then you can see that one as well. Very different. This is a much bigger shamrock. I don't mind that. I kind of like that actually. But this is our finished product, and I do want you to know that on the back I did put an extra popsicle stick, and I popped that corner off at the very top that was showing, and this is very stable. It's not going to go anywhere. And then the last thing that I'd like to show you, you know, sometimes we don't really want to invest too much time or too much effort or too much money into a project, but this is something. I had this frame here at the house and I loved it. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it because it didn't have a back on it. This actually doesn't even fit, as you can tell. And it had no glass in it. Well, I happen to have glass and the back of an old frame that I wasn't using. And here's all I did. I took the Irish Blessing. I printed that from the computer. I cut that out. I put that on a green construction paper in the background. I put my glass in. I hot glued my frame around it because I intend to bring this out every year. But this is a quick and inexpensive way of adding just a little bit of the St. Patrick's Day festivities to your home. So think about other things that you could do as well. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I'll try to put them out both side by side there. This is super easy. There is a kit available for it. Although I do want to comment that we are open for browsing. So if you want to come inside and browse a little bit using our social distancing and wearing a mask, then we would love to see you. And at that time you can pick up a kit. We'll see you soon and keep crafting.